Hello everyone, Eve is here and I am business and brand creator for coaches and experts in the online world. And today I want to talk with you about something really interesting because, well, as usually, today we're talking about something what Karla asks, and she asks, how can I target in my message and marketing in clear and consistent way? I have always been a jack of all trades. And that's really an issue for many of us because we're trying to put our message all together, but we're missing it because whatever hard we try, that truly works as if we want to address all our passions, and that's really difficult. So I would recommend the 3 really important factors which you need to address in your message, and we will talk about them today. And we will be really short because today is a celebration and they can be really, really noisy just in a minute. So hopefully it will happen later. So now, the 3 factors which will help you to clarify your message and make it more relevant to your target audience and do not position you as a jack of all trades. So the first one is you need to know your customers' pain points, dreams, and desires. The point is that when you really know what your customers want, what they need, you can address those things and they will know that you know what they really need and want. First of all, want, because when we recommend to people who have problems with the weight, and we will say that, all right, you have to make certain push-ups, you have to restrict your diet and things like this, people do not feel inspired. But if you will talk about the energy, if you will talk about that they will feel good, if you talk about the other benefits, those things which they really want, you will not only address them, but you also will sell them because people want to buy what they want. So unless you unless you do a research and you find out what your clients want, you will not be able to sell them effectively, which means you need to know their pain points, dreams, and desires. The pain points is really important factor which many people neglect, and they say there is so much suffering in the world, we don't want to add more suffering. That's completely wrong. You really need to know what pain points your customers have, because then you can tell them that you know the problem. And if you do not talk about this, if you do not tell them that you know about their problem, well, they will just ignore your message because they need to know that you understand their problem, first of all, and you heard about that problem. And the best way that you had this problem before and you find the solution. So that's the thing, number 1, and that's foundation of your message. It has to be there. The second thing, the second factor is that your brand message, if you're talking about brand message, not just any copy, any message, it has to be connected and aligned with your values, core values of your brand, and with that what your brand stands for, which means that with your message you will often repel clients. With your style of message, with your style of videos, with your style of graphics, you will often repel people, and it's completely fine. I remember that when I started my group first, I repelled many people and they get into the group and then they left the group after something. And I felt really upset because by that time, when you have 150 people or something like this, you feel really bad when, say, 10 people leave your group. But then I realized that I do not need people who not willing to listen, not willing to listen to me, not willing to buy my products, not willing to work with me. I just don't need these people. And you don't need such people too, because they have their own path. It's okay. I wish them all luck. The point is that you will only work with the people who are your tribe. You will not work with people who you have to convince to buy from you. First of all, it's a tough path. The second of all, really, you don't need to waste your time. There are many people who need your help and they're ready to work with you, and they're smart enough to understand the value of your programs and courses. And you need those people. You need to give them the message and address them to get on board. You don't need people who don't want to do the work, who don't want to buy from you, who not willing to comment or communicate in your group. You just don't need these people at all. So forget about them. Now, the same thing about your email list. If you have people on your email list and your email list packed with people who do not read your emails, just take an action. Delete those people who do not open the emails. And I will tell you what, as a business owners, we have to pay for our addresses in our email list. For example, I use MailerLite. It's a wonderful software. It allows me to have 1,000 followers for free before I will start paying for that. However, if I will overdo that 1,000 followers or something like this, and from them 80% will never open my emails, well, I'll just waste my money. So it doesn't make sense. If you have followers who do not read, not comment, ignoring you, delete them. It's not your tribe. You're wasting your time and money for them. Then the second one, you need to know your ideal client and you need to know your niche. And that's really important because, well, if we don't focus on a particular niche, we really trying to position ourselves as jack of all trades, because the more niche we are, the easier to position ourselves as an expert, as a go-to expert in this niche. However, there is a trick in there. You're not supposed to under-niche yourself in such a way that it will be really difficult to scale your business. So, for example, when you talk about something like I don't know, you can speak about the coaching in general way, you can speak about the coaching for, say, women entrepreneurs, or you can speak about coaching for women entrepreneurs. It's already a niche where you can work, and maybe you will add something to it. However, if you will only niche yourself that you are addressing only coaches who have women entrepreneurs who have one child and they are only nutrition coaches, for example, you will under-niche yourself. You will actually limit yourself to a very small amount of people. So sometimes it may work at the beginning. However, then you will not be able to scale your business. So be very careful with that. When you put your niche, there is a difference between your target market, between your niche, and between your ideal client. Two previous one related to marketing, and they are measurable, and that's really important to understand that. So you can calculate how many people are in that market. You can see how many competitors in that market, and you can calculate the potential reach within that market. But if you will talk about ideal client is related to your mindset, and ideal client will only be relevant to the coaching expert market, because when we talk about coaching expert market, we're talking about people who give services to people individually, in person. So when you talk about in-person services, in-person courses and things like that, ideal client is crucial, because you really need to feel about that. You really need to feel what kind of message you give to this one person. Some people also recommend to name your ideal client. But when you talk about the business which provides, say, courses on a wider range, and those courses are mostly DIY, they are not in person. And if you talk about some apparel business or something like this, ideal client is not really matter. Your ideal client will be converted to a buyer profile, and the buyer profile is again a measurable factor and related to the marketing. So you see there is a difference between ideal client and the buyer profile, and you can work with both. You can remove one, that all up to you, but definitely you need to have at least one of them. So either buyer profile, either ideal client. I would say that setting up your mind for your business is truly important, because the way how we allow ourselves to get the abundance, to get clients and all the things is really crucial. And in that way, if you really know with who you want to work, you already align yourself with certain circumstances in your life which you want to attract in your life. So I will repeat again. The 3 factors which are really important for your message are customers' pain points, dreams, and desires. The second one is the brand message is the core value and what your brand stands for. So it has to be reflected in your message. And the third is and how you can make your message as personalized as it possible, as if you talk to one person only. So once you do this, once you find this correlation between these 3 factors, you will be able to make a very direct, very specific message which give your clients clarity on what you do, how do you do that, and how they can work with you. And if they know those 3 things, they can recommend you to their friends and family, and that way brand will help you to expand your business. I hope that was more questions, please comment below and I will be happy to answer your questions. See you soon. Bye bye.